Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 6 of Evil Genius. And as you can see, some things have changed. I've collected a bunch of money, and I've started moving some rooms around. So I didn't want the armory to be here anymore. It's kind of in an inconvenient location. So I decided to move it back here, and I've extended this freezer here to a corridor here, crossing to this corridor I've made here. And I'm having the cells face the corridor. And this is, of course, so that when I execute somebody, they will, the body bag will be in this freezer and won't have an aura. It can then be either ignored or moved to one of these racks, although I would have to do that manually because if the body bag is in a freezer when it gets created, it doesn't get a move tag assigned to it automatically. That only happens anywhere else. Now I'm also going to put in a security desk here, and I'm going to put that there. And that will also require putting in a time clock, because that is a manned station. Now this means that we can put up security cameras and loudspeakers should we desire to do so. I'm also reconstructing this. So you can see I built a little strong room here. And I'm going to demolish this strong room, although this burglar is causing some trouble for me, so I'm going to have Jubei. I've also unlocked Windwalk with Jubei. There we go. Now somebody will demolish this room, and we're going to redesign it a little. It's slightly bigger than is needed, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the locked entrance here, and I'm going to have a set of corridors that kind of slithers in a bit that I can put traps in. And yeah. Unfortunately, that requires demolishing the entire strong room. So let's reform this. So we're going to have it something like that. And then I'm going to have a corridor kind of going up like that. And like that. Looks like we're going to have to have a bit of a wall there. We can probably cut that bit out. There isn't enough space for a tiny infirmary here, unfortunately, unless... No, I need that space for a brack. That is slightly unfortunate, but I think this will be better. So we're going to unpause both of those. Then we're going to put a set of traps here, because as you saw, I put in another pair further in, but unfortunately they had a tendency to not... Sometimes they walk past it, and sometimes they walk over it. Agents can also roll over the pressure plates, which somehow doesn't trigger them. Although usually they come in, at least in pairs. They rarely come alone. One of the other agents or the other agent may walk over a pressure plate anyway, triggering it. We're also going to build a mess hall here and a staff room here. I'm going to enable those. We can execute you. And we have a bit of an infirmary here, which actually also needs a time clock. Now, let's look at security. So, security cameras can be placed anywhere, in any room, rather, and they have an arc that they can see in. Now, if a security camera on a network, on a manned network, so if somebody is sitting in this chair here, like so, any camera that spots a tagged character or pawn or whatever you want to call them, let's call them pawns because we are a supervillain after all. Any camera that spots a tagged pawn will, through any loudspeaker on the same network, alert any minion that is within earshot, that is within the radius of that loudspeaker, and they will then run to that spot where the tagged pawn was spotted, and if they are still there, they will then attack them appropriately. Whoops. So, let's see, you have a lot of heat. We don't want that. There you can see them rolling over a pressure plate into another pressure plate. But whatever. So we're going to put these traps here, like I said.
Object will be moved shortly. Object move order confirmed.
No, you're not.
Object will be moved shortly.
And then we need this door here, and this door is going to be set to that. You need to stop.
Tag cleared.
Okay. Got a body littering the corridor. We don't need that.
Examination requested.
I'm not going to bother putting a door there because it's just an infirmary, and those stands don't have any heat. So let's connect those up. We're going to be spending a bunch of money on this, but like I said, it was going to collect some. So I think we can move this door there. Ideally, they're going to be interested in this door first and move down into here. We're also going to put these racks back into our significantly smaller strong room, and then we can demolish this strong room because we don't need this anymore. So they should hopefully be interested in this door, try to break into here, get zapped by the traps, and then valets will lead them outside of the base. So now we can demolish that. That doesn't quite work when the rack is not there anymore. Might need you Jubei here to deal with this guy. Now we can close that off. See, that worked perfectly, even though it was one of our own minions who triggered that. Stupid things. Okay, he didn't actually spot anything, so, and he's now on its way out, so that's fine. Now here, I want to put some archives something like that. Probably actually can do it like that.
Build order confirmed.
And then we're going to put a pair of reading tables there with some space saved for later.
Unpaused.
And then we have a little room to expand the control room should we need to, but I don't think we need to. Now this is important. So this is a mess hall counter, but it is a mess hall counter with a giant mixing bowl. And if you've played this game before, you probably know what that is for. If you haven't, let's I think this is the only candidate. So let's capture this guy here. And use him for
High security door breached.
demonstration. Well, managed to
Intruder tagged for capture.
get him anyway, even though Jubei fell for that trap. Using this kind of exploit to prevent minions from leaving. Because it's inconvenient. I would have to wait for more to arrive. Not that I'm having much problem with that at the moment. I've managed to get my capacity up to 50. Basically by buying a few more lockers. Ah, dang it. Lost some people there. Yeah. Here you can see their stats. Basically stealing, plotting, and fighting. So, yeah. Now, when you have ended up in there, you will now have a bunch of heat because we attacked you. We can interrogate you in that because you can use objects other than the interrogation chair to interrogate people, which is handy. I probably want to remove these from here. Let's put them in here because my minions are going to be walking through there a lot now. And they will probably trigger that a lot as well as a result. So, I'm going to move those to somewhere else where they don't traverse as much or at all, preferably. So now this burglar is whose name is Mr. Taylor apparently, is going to be taken to this. And unlike the interrogation chair here, which saps your health, he's going to I think it affects smarts. Maybe. Let's see. Actually, it might be attention. No, it's smarts. Okay. So that's going to... Oh. Crap. Well, because it's being used as an interrogation device, it has heat. I was hoping guards wouldn't wander around this corner. Or agents. Maybe I want to move that down here to have it dedicated to processing. And it's basically the only device we have access to at the moment which can be used for this. So, yeah, I'm going to contemplate that. If I want to build a little mess hall here with just that mixer in it. And maybe two,
Warning. High security door breached.
because it is rather slow. But I don't know. We have somebody in here who's having bad luck. We can probably close that door again. I think he might have been on his way in here to steal some gold. It's possible. You can see that other minions can also stand and watch.
Prisoner execution order confirmed.
Interrogations to get some loyalty and something else. No, it's just loyalty. The aura is just blue, but that's fine. I think I want to send some technicians out to plot because we want to find things to do. We need to uncover more acts of infamy for us to perform, to increase our notoriety and to
Tag cleared.
steal stuff, basically. Now, if we look at our objectives, crime lords, just like evil geniuses, are impressed by shows of wealth. You need somewhere suitably ostentatious to host this gathering of criminal masterminds. Build an inner sanctum and conference table in preparation for this nefarious delegation. So we need to do that. And then, oh, I thought there were 4 crime lords. Rumor has it that all of Indian subcontinent is controlled by one man, Armand Christian. He has many nefarious plots and intrigues, mostly concerning corruption of local government officials. Track him down and encourage him to come to bend to our way of thinking. Marvin De Luca, the nefarious mafia don of all North America, is a powerful man, but with too much hubris. He must be made to respect true power and authority. And then finally, the inscrutable Lei Ying Lo is the undisputed head of organized crime across China and Southeast Asia. Track him down and send out a party to show him we mean business. So first we need to construct a sanctum, and I've prepared a spot for that down here. So we're going to do that and that. And then in here we have the conference table with our chair facing the door, of course. And then the impressive desk where we're going to be spending most of our time. And then we want a pair of doors, of course. And let's move down here to supervise the construction of this. Actually, let's stand over here. While we have the power, probably want to build another generator before power goes out again. How are you doing? You're almost done. So when their smarts runs out, they forget all of the heat they had collected previously, which is, of course, very handy for making them forget any incriminating things they've seen. So, yeah. So if they have heat, instead of killing them, you can make them forget it and then put them back outside, and they will roam around some. First stand around and look stupid, and then roam around some more. Now, agents have a certain time, a window, where they need to get into your base, find incriminating evidence, and then leave. If you delay them for long enough, they will then have to leave because their mission is over. So that is basically why there are traps like wind machine traps, and you can actually set up chains of these traps, and I think you can get some kind of bonuses for it. Not, I don't quite remember how that works. Don't know if that's a good spot for a camera. Probably definitely want one here somewhere. And you want speakers in locations where minions idle. Kinda wish I had the standing one so I could put it there. I think. There. Probably one here. Oh. We've run out of money again. How surprising. Except not really. Now this is harmless, of course. This is no heat because it's not being used as to actively interrogate someone at the moment. You can see that it can be used for that by these slots here, which are for the prisoner management buttons, of course. Put a camera here. And one here. And here. And I could put one here. Put one there. Let's put one here. And put one here. I think that will do. So that should provide enough coverage to properly catch any to get wind of any tagged individuals inside the base. These two investigators have found their way into here, which is great. Now I remembered that you can actually save camera position using a control with a number key, and then you can press that number key to move back to that camera position. For example, on one I have this now, which I had on the previous armory over here before. I could have saved this position on number 2 to quickly get back to the entrance, and on number 3 here I could have my sanctum, so I can move to these locations rapidly. Nothing uncovered here yet. What I want is to find...
High security door breached.
Where, though? It's that one. Okay. What I want is to find something for us to steal. There are
Gold reserves.
special acts of infamy that you can perform that actually gets you an object that has an aura that boosts certain stats for nearby minions, like attention and loyalty generally, I think. Of course, you have to be careful with them because agents who find them can try to steal them back. Especially burglars will be trying to find them. Okay, they've been incapacitated, so any valleys we have should take care of them and lead them outside. I built up the training room. The reason I made this big is because we'll get other things to put in here later. At least I believe so.
Intruder alert. Security door bypassed.
Yeah, into the barracks, which doesn't matter at all. I tend to leave all doors on level 2 because agents can waste time trying to unlock them even if they go into a benign room. I think that's a good idea. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe because he opened the door, then got inside, and then turned around because there was nothing interesting in here. I don't know if he would have done that if the door hadn't been locked. Maybe he would have gone in and explored a bit more if it hadn't been. I don't know. Probably not. He probably would have gone in and then turned around. So probably leaving the door locked is the better choice. Yeah, so we now have a security network, which is nearly complete. Still a bunch of pieces missing, which we are going to get as soon as we get the money for them.
Warning. High security door breached.
Uh-huh. Where, though? I mean, oh, this one. Yeah.
Caution. Funds low.
Yeah. Out of money. Nothing unusual.
That should give me a lift.
Here we have a classic supervillain desk with monitors to watch over your base and a lot of buttons. Yeah. While in this desk, our avatar will regain health if any is lost. We can also sit on this. This doesn't really do anything. It's not at all useful. It's just used for the conference we will have. Don't want you in the inner room, really. You wandering around in there. So, we're approaching the end of the episode. Gotten a bunch of stuff done.
Security door bypassed.
Basically, what I need to do now is locate these crime lords, which basically involves plotting here, and then was it what was it? It's the Indian subcontinent, North America, and China and Southeast Asia. So basically these two I have to plot in, and then North Africa there, and Indian subcontinent there. Maybe I should, did I just send two? I guess I did. I should move them here, and then have these plotting instead. There's agents popping up around the place. Is there one here as well? Yeah, let's hide for a while. So I'm going to end the episode here, and we'll be back to continue in the next one. So, I will see you then.